So they're calling it a blue wave that happened this past November 4th, which was last week, in which we had an off-year election. And it went blue. A lot of places went blue. But see, there's been quiet on that. Haven't heard that much talked about it, right? And some of you may even be saying to yourself, but that doesn't mean anything. Well, it does. First of all, let me just say 76. There were 76 Muslims who were on the ballot for this past election. 76. That's a lot. These are people who have faith, religious beliefs, political beliefs that does not even remotely gel with American values. And so there's that. Out of the 76 that was on the ballot, 42 got through. 42. We know about Mondami, but there was, I think, 4 other mayors that also, Muslim mayors, that also slid into position. All while we're thinking, well, I don't need to vote. It's not that serious. It is serious. This is what they bank on. They bank on our laziness, our distractions, and our ignorance that we don't know. Well, let me bring something else to you. 1 year from now, we have our 2026 midterm elections. The midterm elections is a very big deal. I think we just think about the presidency, and I can't say really anything because I used to think that way too, until I learned differently. First, let me share with you what's on the ballot. We have all 435 seats of Congress that is on the ballot. We also have 35 of 100 of the senators, the state senators, that are also on the ballot. We have 39 governors that are also up for grabs. That's also on the ballot. We also have 22 mayorships that is also on the ballot. Still not serious? The reason why we know that President Donald Trump was able to pass so many of his ideas through and that it was able to roll out is because we had last year the red wave. That's where everything went red. America spoke very loud and said, we want America back, because we've seen that it was going in some very dangerous places. So when we're looking at the presidency, any presidency, but the president, the official office of president, their ideas can only go but so much. With that being said, no laws pass without Congress. Budgets don't pass without Congress. Appointments can be blocked by Congress, and investigations are launched by Congress. As far as the seats of the Senate, they are the ones who represent your district. They control the entire house. Well, the midterm election, rather, decide who represents your district, who controls the entire house, whether the Senate flips or whether it stays the same. Committee leadership, which investigations get launched, what national agenda moves forward or gets shut down. Congress also controls healthcare laws, immigration laws, gun legislation, tax policies, federal funding, education and student loan policies, and more besides. You also have your governors and mayors. I mean, you get the point. So these elections are extremely important. And if you think about some of the things that happened in this short second term of President Trump, there was times where he was acting within his power as president, but he got stalled by district judges. These things matter. And so you have to show up, because as I stated before in one of my previous videos, that those who are assuming your power are trying to convince you, why bother to vote? You shouldn't have to vote. You don't want to vote. Your voting don't matter. It's not going to make a difference. Meanwhile, they're putting other people and gunning, making sure that they vote. Some of which is from that population that has already invaded our country and trying to control it. They're also the ones who said, and these are not my words but theirs, They said, one of their leaders said that they would never vote red. They would never vote Republican. He said because the Conservative Party has values, he said they will always vote blue. You can check that out. So in short, the midterm elections determine who really has power. They determine who writes the laws, who funds the government, who controls investigations, who confirms judges, who oversees federal agencies, and what political agenda advances. Listen, I've been saying this, I do believe this, that the the Democrat Party is not what it used to be. They have been taken over. I really mean that. I'm not being facetious. And I'm going based upon what they have been doing, what they've been pushing through. We have crisis in America, but they want to send money to like a third world so that they can, test if rats on cocaine is going to produce some type of weird thing. I mean, that sounds crazy, but I refer you back to Doge. I refer you to all of the money that they had discovered that the left has been hoarding or diverting, and it's still coming out as far as the fraud on food stamps, the fraud in Medicaid, the fraud. We learned that there was people who miraculously was living beyond 150 something years. So please prepare to vote. Here's my last thing. If you think that the left has been sitting in the corner, just twiddling their thumbs and not thinking to assume power, what they can do, and they will resort to some really dangerous practices. If you're thinking that they're just sitting back twiddling their thumbs and saying whatever happens, what happens, you don't know who they are. This is why you have to show up for midterm. You have to show up for those voting schedules that seem like, man, I don't feel like being bothered. No, you need to be bothered because there are people who are not born in the United States who are making or taking it upon themselves to make sure they suggest that you stay home, but they're showing up at the polls and they're voting for people who are going to secure their interests from a foreign country and our country. So now is the time. You can go pretty much you can go so you can go on USA.gov to learn who your elected officials are in your jurisdiction and where you are. You can also go on just online to, type in who's, on the ballot for your state, for your city, and begin to research them now. Please don't wait. Last election, I think the reason why there was so much camaraderie, unity, and people fighting hard, Americans, patriots, that was fighting so hard was because we knew that we were fighting for our country. We were fighting for the soul of this country. We was fighting for our future. We were fighting, and I seen such beautiful camaraderie and patriotism that it was amazing. And one of the patriots that was leading the charge was Charlie Kirk, but he's no longer with us. But we have to govern ourselves. We have to think about our loved ones. We have to think about our future. We have to think about this because guess what? We're more powerful than what you think we are. Lastly, 4276. 76 Muslims that was on the ballot made it to the ballot. 42 got through. You would be wrong to think that, it's only 42. Oh, it's just a little cancer. No problems there. So I'm not trying to scare you, but I am trying to alert you to the fact that this is a fight for our lives. Because trust me, I'm sure they got plans that should never see the light of day. And so don't forget to follow me on Facebook. I just created a new Facebook group less than 48 hours ago. I'll leave the name of it in the description, and please go online, do some research, see who's talking about what so that you are informed. And then Inform your family and friends. Go out and vote.